about several years. I was at the Hyatt on Sunset, and then I worked for Mitzi. I was been there a long time, developing a lot of young comedians. And I must say, Belinda, you're at the Comedy Store in the Belly Room.
That's right.
Tell me about Belinda.
Well, Skip, I tell you, I'm really excited.
You are from Louisiana, first of all.
That's right.
Right. And Louisiana, where in Louisiana?
Bayagula.
Belinda Foster grew up there. Always funny?
Always. I got it from my mom, I have to tell you. Got it from my mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What do you mean you got it from your mom?
Well, my mom is a very funny lady. She always made me laugh when I was a kid. All the time, you know.
So she inspired Belinda Foster to become a comedian?
Right.
I think that's a great... not Milton Berle or not Joan Rivers or...
yeah, absolutely. I love them. Especially I love Milton Berle. He is so funny.
Right. You're doing something positive in women and positive in comedy. Tell me about that. Well, at the Comedy Store up in the Belly Room.
That's right.
We have a show there every Saturday.
Right.
And tell me about it.
It's, you know what, it's so much fun. It's an opportunity for comics to get together, work out their material,
right.
Be in a supportive environment. It's great.
Belinda, you're teaching comedy too. Tell me about teaching comedy. Where do you teach comedy?
Actually, I teach on Saturdays. It's at the Complex Theater. And it's a really supportive group of people. We get them together, and then I teach people to be themselves.
To be themselves. Find out if they're funny or not?
Right.
Like what?
Absolutely.
For an example.
Like, say, their point of view. We get into points of views and talk to people about how they see things, getting them to observe things more and say it out loud, getting that out of them. So
you're going to find out the funniest things about it. I see.
Right.
Louisiana. Tell me about Louisiana growing up.
Oh, honey.
That's a funny... That's the word Louisiana is funny to me.
That's right.
I love that word, Louisiana, because every time I think of Gone with the Wind, Miss New Orleans, Scarletts, and, tell me about Aunt Zedie. What's that all about?
My Aunt Z, she's one of my favorite relatives. In fact, I think she might be here. How you doing, Skip? Bless your heart, honey. I can't believe I'm on the Skip Lowe show today.
This is Aunt Zeta. Where are you from originally? Louisiana?
Yes, sir. I'm from Bayagula.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't look for it on the map because it's not on the map.
But you don't talk Southern, honey.
Honey, I tell you, well, you know what? I've been all around the world, you see. And I kind of lost it along the way.
So you enjoy being funny, huh?
Love it.
That's the most important thing, is enjoying being funny.
Right, having fun.
Christine Blackburn, how are you?
Fine,
You're
how are
funny.
you, Skip?
Pittsburgh is just funny to me.
Indeed.
Just word Pittsburgh.
Telling you.
I love Pittsburgh. I used to work Pittsburgh a lot.
Is that right?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I loved it. I thought it was a great little town.
Indeed.
And the 50s, I remember it was fabulous in the 50s. And a great school, college there is for...
Indeed.
It's a Carnegie Tech.
The Carnegie Mellon University.
That's
Indeed, yeah.
Great. Where did you go to school?
I went to school at Duquesne University, which is about a mile away from Carnegie Mellon. Also a very good school.
Comedian.
A comedian.
Christine, actress, though. Basically, you were an actress first, or a comedian?
An actress.
An actress turned comedian.
Pretty much, yes.
Tell me about coming to Hollywood. What happened?
I'll still act as well. So I came to LA about a year and a half ago.
Right.
To pursue comedy, specifically comedy.
Really? Not to come to Hollywood to pursue acting?
No, to pursue comedy, absolutely.
Why did it come to Hollywood? New York would be funnier, I think.
Right. Well, I guess I was looking at the television sitcoms like Roseanne.
Excuse me. I see. To get on sitcoms.
Well,
that's a comedy actress.
Looking at a lot of people that are on sitcoms that were stand-ups.
Right. That's where they all start. Matter of fact, Roseanne Barr was that Belly Room is Roseanne Barr, where she really started.
That's right.
You worked for Belinda up in the Comedy Store, up in the Belly Room.
Yes.
And where do you get your material from?
I draw upon life experience and point of view, like Belinda.
Pittsburgh.
Indeed, Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, Skip, I was a welder by day and a dancer by night. I don't know. I told you that.
They do dance there. They have strip shows there. Those strippers there.
Right.
Hey, but you were an airline stewardess.
Indeed.
Tell me about your airline stewardess.
Right. I was a flight attendant for 7.5 years.
7.5?
Yeah, that's a long time. I've been on over 4,000 airplanes.
You know, Christine, I'm looking at you right now.
Right.
You look so young. to be 7.5. I mean, you must have got this job when you were 15.
Something like that, Skip.
Being up there funny. Were you funny up there?
I tried to be. People.
Like what, for
Well, you know, people. You know, I love people, I really do, but they ask a lot of dumb questions on the airplane. I think sometimes they check their brain at the gate. One time I had a woman ask me if we had a salad bar. She was dead serious. Absolutely. People, they get a little confused on the airplane.
They do. They
yes,
really
they do.
How about the Johns in there? Did you ever catch anyone in the John there?
I did. A lot of people
couples, you know?
joining that Mile High Club.
Yeah,
absolutely.
is that what they call?
Indeed.
Hey, what comedian have inspired Christine?
Oh gosh,
Blackburn.
I like Paula Poundstone very much.
She's good. She's funny. I've
Indeed.
interviewed her. She's very tall and funny.
Indeed, I like her
She's
as well.
really a glamazon girl. She's really big for 12.
Yes.
I think she's funny. Well, Brett, how are you? Brett Gilbert.
I'm good.
Oh, God, you are a very funny young man. You know, I saw you at the Comedy Store, her room upstairs in the belly room. You
Belinda
were
runs
funny.
a great show. And
boy, did I grabbed you. I said, "Oh, this guy is." No, I didn't mean West Hollywood thing. I said, "This guy is funny." I mean, wasn't he funny?
He's wonderful.
Yeah.
I thought you just had a great style about yourself. I thought you'd be perfect for sitcoms like Christine is too. You guys are really, all three of you. You're very different, and you're perfect. You have a style that I think, and you're young too. You started doing comedy in San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Well, that's an outrageous place. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a great place. You know, it's a very, very liberal, open-minded city, so you can go a lot further with your material.
Is Brett Gilbert open-minded and liberal?
Of course.
Yeah, comics usually are, aren't they?
Yeah.
Would you
I think
say?
so.
To be a good comedian, you have to have an open mind about everything. What kind of material do you do, Brett? I mean,
well, it's pretty much we're walks of life. You know, it's like where you walk through the city, you see certain things. I do a lot of stuff on like. I met like a bunch of addicts down in San Francisco, and they were telling me they're shooting up, you know, and that's usually where it comes from. Just like where you go.
Do you read the papers all the time and get ideas from the?
No, I hate political humor. I find it completely boring. This whole Clinton thing with Monica Lewinsky. That just
right.
I'm so sick of it.
What's funny for you? Things that make funny things.
I like twisted things. It's really what it is.
Twisted. I'm looking at your hair. It's a very twisted hairdo. I like the hairdo. Go ahead.
It's a good credo that W.C. Fields once said. In order to make a room full of people laugh, all you need is a man dressed up like an old lady to fall down a manhole cover. To make a room full of comedians laugh, it really has to be an old lady.
That's funny. What kind of experiences have you had in San Francisco starting out, and who inspired you anyway?
Inspired me as a comic. That'd be the Sex Pistols.
Really?
Yeah, it's Johnny Rotten. I thought was an intense performer, and I like to bring that to a comedy aspect.
Are you an intense performer comic? I think so.
I'd like to think so.
Yeah, because
I did your show at Stage Left, and she was actually pissed off at me because I threw the mic stand in the stool. And
did you? Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, do you walk around the stage a little, don't you?
Yeah, when I'm up there, you know, it's like you get the energy going through you.
If you weren't an actor or a comic, what would you have done?
What would you
say? I mean,
I was in a band.
Pissed off as you are. Go ahead. Yeah.
I got enough anger in me to fuel a rocket ship to Pluto. I was in a band, actually, when I was my teenage years.
So you had a band, huh?
Yeah, I was a drummer.
A drummer? So you used to beat the tom-toms?
Yeah.
Christine?
Yes?
As a comedian, as an actress, difficulties here in Hollywood?
There's a few.
Casting couches? Come on.
She was a stripper.
Well, no. You're going to agents and casting people.
Right.
You know, you're a very attractive girl. Is it tough for a young girl like yourself?
Skip, if it was as easy as the casting couch, I'd be a star by now.
Really?
Really? Well, I got a show coming up.
No, I do not believe that holds true whatsoever. Yeah.
How do you react when people say you are sexy? How do you react?
Well, it's funny because you're either too pretty or you're not pretty enough, or you're too young or you're too old. It's very hard to be right on the money.
Tell me about your Peace Corps. You were in a Peace Corps.
I was.
That's wonderful.
I was in the United States Peace Corps, indeed.
How long were you in that?
I was in for 2.5 years.
Where were you?
In the Kingdom of Tonga, which is in the South Pacific.
South Pacific, yes.
Indeed.
I lived in the South Pacific.
Is that right?
All over the Far East. I loved it too.
Wow.
You've been everywhere, haven't you?
Kind of, yeah. But Who inspires you? Do you like, what's his name, our boy, who's the highest paid comedian today, $20 million a day? Jim Carey. Do you like Jim Carey?
He's good, actually. His stand-up, I remember watching his stand-up
at the Comedy Store.
At the Comedy Store a long time ago.
Very funny.
Very funny. Now it's his stand-up now is like, people consider it generic, but I always tell him, like, it's because he was setting a standard, and like people now are like doing his style of comedy.
Right. What have you done? You've done some comedy clubs. Where?
Sure, I've done clubs all over the country, actually.
Because you're very young. You're very
Seattle,
young.
Portland, New York.
How are the audiences in Seattle and Portland?
Seattle and Portland, actually, they're not so bad, actually. I thought they'd be kind of rednecky, but they're not. It's actually like an industrial, like city-like touch. Tell you, New York is I think, more difficult in terms of stand-up.
Why do you say that?
I did the Apollo, actually.
It's a great place.
They told me, hey, they're letting up white people now. Go do it. It'll be great.
Did you really do it?
I did it.
I love it.
I stepped on stage, and I didn't even reach the mic stand, and they started booing me. It was like, oh, white boy, boo.
Hey, go ahead. And what happened?
I just went, hey, screw you all. And
you didn't even say a word? Nothing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's harsh, I've done Oakland quite a few times, and I had a great time doing those shows, So it's different. West Coast and East Coast are different crowds.
Totally different. New York audiences are great, though. I must say. It's
like
comedy.
Dangerfield's great
Boston, all through Massachusetts. Have you worked in Massachusetts?
I have not.
You haven't?
No.
From Pittsburgh.
I've been there many times.
Yeah, see, from Pittsburgh, you should have. Where did you work around Pittsburgh?
Actually, just around the Pittsburgh area. And maybe in West Virginia and Ohio.
West Virginia, that's real redneck.
I tell you what, Skip, it's a great place.
Entertaining those people, what kind of jokes do you have to give them? How funny do you have to be?
Pretty basic.
Usually sheep stuff.
Pretty basic, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Sodomizing sheep, that's
Sheep
all they
humor.
laugh
That's
at.
very good.
All they laugh at. They're dumb as a box of rocks out there. Nevada especially.
Okay, Brett Gilbert.
There's a reason they call it a two-step, because they can't count any higher.
Brett Gilbert, I want to know something about yourself. Actor you want to be? Comic actor, basically?
I'd get into that.
Because you're very funny.
Oh, thanks.
And I think on screen, I think you'd be hysterical in a sitcom.
Oh, wow.
If some young man would grab a hold of you and put you on a sitcom, some director would see you, and I think if he comes to the Comedy Store and see you work, even better. So all three of you, matter of fact, they would just come to take a look at you at the Belly Room. You're there every Saturday, matter of fact.
Indeed.
Right?
Indeed.
What's happening? You also do commercials.
Yeah, sure.
Tell me about Christine Blackburn doing commercials and
Sure.
stuff. Voiceovers.
Hey, I'll sell anything, Skip. Absolutely.
You do what?
I'll sell anything. Absolutely. I've done quite a few voiceovers for CD-ROM games. I did this one game called Hell with Dennis Hopper, in fact, was in it, and Stephanie Seymour and Grace Jones. Although I did 4 voices on that game.
I think you dropped something there.
However, I could never get skilled enough in the game to get to the parts of the game that my voices were on. I need to get some small kid who's good at video games.
You have a unique voice, good style, good unique style of voice. Same as you have your own style, individuality. To be a good comic or be a good actor, you have to find out if you have your own individuality, your own. You know who you are. Brett, I think you know who you are. Brett Gilbert and Christine.
Yes.
You know who you are.
I think so.
Yeah.
Same as Belinda Foster. Yeah. Belinda Foster, you seem always smiling, so happy all the time. Yeah. Is Belinda, what makes you...
damn nice is what it is.
What makes you sad, Belinda?
I don't know. I tell you...
I wish you'd stop smiling once in a while. What makes you sad?
There's very few things actually make me sad. I'll tell you why. Because when I was growing up, my mother always taught me, she said, no matter what happens, things are going to get better. So look for the light.
So Belinda Foster comes from a very spiritual family.
Absolutely.
Mama, singing choir. She's Brothers, sisters, how many?
2 brothers. 2 brothers. And 1 sister.
Oh, that's nice. How about you, Brett?
Actually, I have a...
Are you the only child, or what?
No, I was 2 brothers, 1 sister.
Are they funny, too, or in the biz? Or
well, my brother's actually a nationally syndicated cartoonist.
Oh,
yeah,
see?
He draws a comic strip called Buckles. He's in about 300 papers now.
That's great. Buckles, that's great.
He just signed a deal with the Fox Network, so it'll be a Saturday morning cartoon the next 10 years.
Do you go out reading for scripts and stuff like that, Brett?
No, I haven't.
Because you should.
Actually,
you should really go out there, and Christine does. I know that.
Yes.
Yeah. And
I have a big family, Skip.
Yes, how many?
I have 4 older sisters and 1 older brother.
Wow,
Yes,
that's nice.
I'm the youngest of 6. And I know that my mom and dad wanted another boy.
Ah, that's
You know,
great.
and of course they did. And in fact, my father, he calls me Christopher still. And my mother, she had me circumcised.
Oh, did
So
she?
that hurt.
Did she really?
Yeah,
How did that happen?
That hurt.
And you like guys? That's weird.
Very.
What's the most important? What do you think is the most important thing for an actor or a comic to strive for? For a comic to strive for, what's most important thing?
I think it's developing as an artist.
Good
It has to be. You know, it's like I see Dice Clay go up at the Comedy Store.
Right.
He's funny. He was great back in the '80s. You know, but he's still doing like the kind of like the same shtick. You
Right,
know?
right.
I kind of felt for him. You know, it's like you got to develop more. You know, it's like there's sucking and that.
I find
it was
comics.
kind of played.
But I find comics very dramatic, very sad people.
Okay.
Are you sad, Christine?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Really?
No,
Comics are usually sad people.
There
and
are.
they don't laugh at other comics.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They
that's
just don't do it. Is that right, Belinda?
That's so true.
Is that what you're teaching about comedy in your workshop?
Absolutely, absolutely. Camaraderie is really important in this because
That
it's
don't
a
happen.
we thing.
Yeah,
It
don't
just
happen.
doesn't
we
because.
think-
But
Yeah.
you know, I find good comics are tremendous dramatic actors. Good
Yes.
comics.
That's true.
Because that basic line they go into. See, if you're a good comedian, you can do some dramatics really fantastic, like Jackie Gleason and
Oh yeah.
wonderful people that have done, Red Buttons, won the Academy Award,
Sure.
Robin Williams.
Yes, very funny
yeah.
guy who started in San Francisco.
Yeah,
San
and,
Francisco,
Holy Caesar.
it seems like a good place to start for comedies. Why is
Yeah,
that?
that's just like I said before. It's an open-minded city, and you can go a lot further with material. And like a lot of other cities, I played clubs in like Chicago, Portland, and they have like a set thing of well, don't do material on this subject or this subject here. In San Francisco, they let you go all out, and that's why I think the San Francisco comics are a lot better than the rest of the country.
How do you relax?
How do I
when
relax?
you're finished an evening of craziness? How do you relax?
Usually involves a high amounts of marijuana, but
Christina?
not someone else. He's talking about drugs.
Oh, really? How do you relax, Christine, when you're finished working?
I would.
Wine?
Yeah, I'm a big runner. I like to run and I like to play tennis.
Oh, that's good.
But at the end of the night, after the show, I like to go home with a glass of red wine.
Not alone, though, or alone?
Usually alone, actually.
Alcohol.
And
Is
then,
Christina is Christine a lonely?
no, I'm not.
No. You have a boyfriend?
I do have a boyfriend.
You do? Oh,
Indeed,
okay.
yeah, I do.
What makes life important for you, Belinda, right now?
Oh,
What does
My honest
please.
truth. What's important to me are the good people in my life right now, like yourself, Skip. I have to give you credit because if it weren't for you giving me the opportunity
that's
to
very
work
sweet
with
of you.
you, I wouldn't have had the chance to develop, I think, and I enjoy working with you. You're terrific. You're wonderful.
you write a lot?
Sure
Belinda?
do. Every
You do?
day. Every day.
And you get ideas and you put them down on your paper and
Right.
and you work out the things.
Right.
So when you teach a class, you critique them
Yes, I do.
and you bring them to the Comedy Store, and sometimes after you critique them and tell them
Again.
what they should keep in and
Right.
out.
Right.
That's very important. Do you find material that you try and it doesn't work, and you'll take it out, but maybe the next time you do it, it might work?
Indeed.
Yeah.
So have you done
Every
that?
audience is different. you know.
Absolutely. Isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
Thank God for that. Have you ever bombed?
Sure, when you start out.
Well,
at
you
the
did. You did at the club in New York, at Harlem.
the Apollo, yeah.
At the Apollo. I can't believe we're going to have that in a book for you, baby. Oh, boy.
I wish I filmed that moment.
Brett
That was a
Gilbert,
pinnacle point
that
in my
would be.
life.
Really? Was that like you really wanted to get out of the business?
No, I've never had that. I always knew that stand up is. I'm in it. I always say I'm in it for the Carlin run. I'm going to do stand
How
up
did
for
you
good
feel?
40 years.
How did you feel when you walked off that stage at the theater? How did Brett felt? Gilbert, come on, tell me. It must have tore your heart out and said, God, I'm never going to do comedy again. I'm never going to spear on that stage.
No, it made me think. Wow, I should attack the audience.
You should have.
If they're attacking me.
You know what you should have done? You should have
got more
stayed
aggressive.
out there and got aggressive. That's right.
Well, I was
'Cause
19. I was like, just starting out, you don't know any better. You know, now I know if some guy heckles me, I'll crush him like a titty in a mammogram.
You're very funny. What kind of a day do you get? Because you guys work at night.
Indeed.
And it's difficult for you getting up very early.
Right.
Is it difficult for you to
It
get
is.
up early? What time of the day you get up?
Actually, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Do you
Good Lord.
really?
Yeah, every morning.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
And what time do you go to bed?
About 1 or 2.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Why is Belinda Foster so busy and keeps herself
Well,
busy?
I happen to have 2 children.
Oh, you are married.
I sure
And
am.
you have children.
And 2
How
little
lovely.
girls.
Oh,
That's why
I
she's
see.
so happy. Look.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's. She's always happy. She's
I love it. I love
The
it.
Comedy Store is it's actually positive women in comedy.
Yes.
At the belly room upstairs at the Comedy Store. It's every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
And then you work downstairs in the main room
In the
and
main
also
room?
the original room.
Right.
Belinda Foster, I love you. I think you're a wonderful lady.
I
and
love
your
you
mother
too.
is wonderful. And
Oh, she loves you too, honey.
Christine, anything happening right now instead of just doing comedy, or what's happening with Christine Blackburn? Are you going on the road right now, or what's
No,
happening?
I'm not. I like to stay right here in Los Angeles. I'm producing a couple of shows for the City of Hope.
Oh,
I'm not
that's
sure
good.
If you're aware of the City of Hope, it's a cancer facility.
Yes, I'm very familiar with it.
Right, so I'm
Yes.
producing some shows over
You
there.
are?
Indeed.
What are you doing? Like,
Some comedy shows, getting together about 10 comics per show
oh, that's
and
good.
performing for the folks over there.
I think it's great. Do you know you should perform for senior citizens too once in a while?
Oh, good Lord, no.
Brett?
Hell
Why
no.
not?
Good Lord.
It's not. Why
God,
not?
old people don't
the
do that damn thing I say. They
The old
just stare at
people.
me.
That
God.
why? Why you want?
Oh,
old
man.
people are wonderful. Try them out.
They don't even know what the internet is, for Christ.
Oh yes. They,
Oh, bad.
But
Those
there-
are some of my worst shows. If I
Yeah?
do it, if I do a show of it's all gray heads, I'll just eat it. I'll eat it.
tell me some of your funny stuff. That
My funny stuff.
Yeah,
Would it
come
make
on.
me air? That's my question.
yeah. Go. It doesn't matter. Try me. But
Well, I'll
not
tell you though, look, a story that like
Yeah.
some of these bookers don't understand some of the style of comedy that I do. I got
Like
booked.
what?
Well, I got I got booked at a show. It was for the Christian Coalition Christmas party.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
And they didn't appreciate my Jesus being a homo material. They didn't
How's that?
like that at all.
God, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
Tell you about that? Well, hey, it's if you look at the facts on it, you know, Jesus was a homosexual.
He was?
Look at the facts. You know, he was 33 years old, never been married, never had a kid, hung out with men. Judas didn't betray him. They broke up. That's how.
That's a San Francisco show. I'm sure of that. That's where it all started, right?
It goes on, but the other half won't make the air.
Your material is very funny on stage, and I think
Well,
it's
thank you.
yeah. And you do your own writing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. People try to give me like taglines and hey, you should say this. I said no because then it's not me on stage.
You get comments from people that give you some ideas, Christine, because everyone gets ideas from everybody.
Sure, you're picking up comedy 24 hours a day. You're thinking about comedy,
Right.
Observing, watching, listening to other people, picking up conversations. You could do a whole bit on what you heard someone say behind you in the grocery store line, you know.
Tell me about the Ice House. That is in Pasadena. Everybody goes to the Pasadena Ice House.
It's a great club.
You know, we're not going to just talk about the Comedy Store. We're going to talk about the Improv, the Comedy Store, Little Frida's. That's a wonderful little room in West Hollywood.
Indeed.
I think it's a lesbian room, but that's fine. But it's
a rumor.
It's what? It's a rumor.
No, I think it is too. Yeah,
It is.
what
It's a
I've
gay.
heard.
It's a gay lesbian room.
Coffee
and it's
house.
fun.
It's wonderful.
All girls, I think, and they're a wonderful audience.
Fantastic
But we do
audience.
have a gay night at the Comedy Store.
Right.
And the
Right.
Comedy Store has a gay night at the Beverly, the upstairs.
Belly room?
Yeah,
Right.
in the belly room, right. And they do have, it's kind of funny. Tell me about the Stage Left Coffee House. What is that all about?
Well, actually, yeah,
Oh,
that
it
got
is?
closed.
Well, it's not-
but it
what was
operated
it?
for 9 months. It's just a coffee house. In
Coffee houses
Glendale.
are fun.
Indeed, and it's a great place to work out material. I would have anywhere from 25 to 30 comics coming per Monday night just to work out some stuff, and you know, it's very, you know, you try to be somewhat supportive of each other, and you know, see if it works. If it does, great. If it doesn't,
Now, you went to school where? You said the university
in
where?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
In Pittsburgh?
Right.
Always wanted to be
Always
in
wanted to
showbiz?
be in
Ever
showbiz.
since you can remember?
Ever
Really?
since, absolutely. Because you know, Skip, I'm
You
the
too, the same thing? Always?
Was it always funny?
No, always wanted to be in the biz.
In the biz? Well, yeah, I wasn't a band. I think so. I always wanted to be something in the biz. You know what I mean? Some kind of industry thing.
Brett is very laid back. Nothing phases you. You're very nonchalant.
Well,
is that you in real life, would you say?
Yeah, somewhat. You got to catch me in the right mood. I go through mood swings, just like everyone. So it depends on what mood I'm in. On stage, it's always like, I gotta.
You have a girlfriend?
I have several. No.
Okay. He's funny, isn't he?
Well, 3 at the moment, but one of them is back, and the other one.
What was that story you were telling me about Louisiana? You were saying something.
Oh,
go ahead.
yes, honey. Oh, yes. Where I come from, it's a very small town called Bayagola.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to do in Bayagola.
Really?
I mean, an evening out is sitting on your front porch watching TV through the window. If you can imagine that. There's nothing to do there. No, but the one thing I love about Bayagola, and I wish it was more of it out here, is, again, that whole thing about camaraderie. That's what I want to bring, and that's what I try to bring to my class, is to teach.
I bet your town is so small, Howard Johnson's carry one flavor. And I'll also bet, I beg your pardon, I could, yeah, that's right, you're a drummer, aren't you? That's right, I forget.
He'll be here all week,
Look at that
folks.
face, he's got such a great face.
I think he likes you, Brett.
Yeah, I do like him. I think he's funny and talented and funny. I think all 3 of you are very funny and talented and very, very versatile, and I wish each and every one of you let these people in Hollywood see you. You're every Saturday at the Comedy Store, guys.
Absolutely.
And you are doing so well there. I'm so happy for you. I really am.
Thank you, sir.
You know something? I really want to talk right now about a very, very fine little place called Postal Center in Moore. It's in Hollywood right now, and it's a place where everyone gets their mail, all the actors. If you ever need place for your mail to go to, it's called Postal Center and More. It's on Santa Monica Boulevard, 8205 Santa Monica. And they're celebrating their 10th anniversary right now. 10 years they've been in, and all the young actors are getting their mail in this place.
Are they homeless?
No, it's not. It's a place. They don't have. It's a little post box,
I see.
And it's on Santa Monica, and they package things in the Federal Express, and you get your stamps, and you get things there, and it's a wonderful place to go. And it's called Postal Center and More, and it's great. You guys should go there. It's on Santa Monica. It's right off of Havenhurst in Santa Monica, by Silver Spoon Restaurant, where all the actors go.
Good. Very good.
But I'm going to see you, Brett, and thank you so very much. I really enjoyed talking to you, and you are just a funny guy. Tell me about what's this commercial you did, comedy skits? What is it? The voiceovers comedy skit? What is that?
That's
in
mine.
Chicago?
No,
What's that?
That's me.
Oh, this is you.
Sure.
Oh, yeah? No, this is not you. That's her.
Yeah.
Yes, of
I did the
course.
Extreme Gong. That was a different show.
You two should work together.
Oh, goodness.
That would be great.
I'm trying to seduce her, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll get a room later for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Very
Skip.
charming, both
Thank
of you.
you.
And you're all wonderful. See you at the Comedy Store this Saturday. Is that right?
Yeah.
Belinda Foster, Christine Blackburn, and Brett. I thank you very much. You're helping Gilbert.
Gilbert.
Is that your real name, Gilbert?
Yes, that's my real name.
And Brett is your real name too.
Yep.
Thank you so much.